Alrighty guys, welcome back to another episode with Explore by Adventure. Today we're going to be getting a fit out on some suspension here at Direct Suspension. We're going to put some West Coast suspension in and have a look at, see what we can do. So what we'll do is we'll walk in and we'll go see Ash. He's the owner of Direct Suspension, and we'll see what he's got for us.
Hey Frank. How are you? Hey mate, welcome to the shop.
Thank you.
Excited?
Yeah, he's excited. Alrighty guys, this is Ash, the owner of Direct Suspension here. He's the one that's been talking to for a few weeks now about some new suspension for the Cruiser. What have you got for us?
Alright mate, well we've got the West Coast suspensions kit here. We've got the HD leaf springs, we've got the 8-stage remote reservoir shock absorbers front and rear. We've got our premium bushes, shackles, greasable pins as well. And yeah, big heavy duty 2-inch kit ready for some tough touring.
Awesome. So what we're going to do guys is we're going to get this, run the Cruiser in, get it up on the hoist, pull the suspension out, put some new ones in. Keen to see how it goes. First bit of the suspension coming out, got the coils out. Boys are just about to put the new ones in, get the other shocks out as well. They've just pulled the first shock out, pulling this one out here. There's the coil, the bump stop that goes through the coil. You undo the 2 bolts at the top here that are sitting up here. You drop the diff, the coil will fall out. They're also, before when they first pulled this one out, they've undone the bottom bolt. And he's just done, as you just saw, he's just undone the top bolt, and this will pop out too now. So what they're going to do now is put the new shock in, bolt the bump stop up to the new springs, bolt it all into here, and then they'll jack the diff up and stuff again. So we'll see how they go with that one. Alrighty, so we're just in the showroom here, we're just looking at all the different types of suspension. What we've got was Ash is chucking the remote resers in. Just tell us why you decided to go this time.
Yeah, of course. So obviously these are a monotube remote reservoir shock absorber as opposed to the twin tube shock absorbers by West Coast Suspension. To give you a little bit of an idea of how their range works, they do a 36mm bore twin tube shock. For our Landcruisers, we do a 40mm bore. These ones here have an extra stone guard, metal boot as well. But these ones here, these are the real deal. So these are a monotube instead of a twin tube, so you disperse that heat more effectively. You've obviously got an extra oil canister here to give you extra oil, so that keeps it cool. The more volume you have, the more it'll stay cool. So when you're doing a heavy duty workouts in your vehicle, it'll keep nice and cool. And of course it's an 8-stage adjustable as well. So when you have different loads on the vehicle or you're going in different terrains, you can change the adjustment here, which means that you can get a different ride comfort and control out of the shock.
Cool. So depending on what we can do, it's pretty easy. It's just as simple as turning that at the top there.
Yes, absolutely. So it's an 8-stage. So obviously 1 to 8, 1 being basically the loose valve, and then obviously go right up to 8, which is really firm. Yeah. And then usually people sort of hover around that 3 and 4. Everyone's different with their vehicle, different loads, different terrains, different driving styles. And that's obviously where you find your sort of your own personal sort of comfort level, and you whack it on there. On our IFS utes, we also do an adjustable spring seat here, 360 weld, heavy duty weld right down to the bottom eye here. Again, vehicle specific, but these things are really designed to be given an extra workout. And for your type of driving, I think you'll really see the advantage of it.
So with, as you know, I've got the canopy on there and it's quite heavy.
Yep.
I would normally just have that set up to what, pretty high? To take the weight, or? Yeah,
so it depends exactly what your load is. So for yourself, you'd probably have it around a 4 or something like that. Right. It really comes back to your particular setup and how you like it. Yeah, and you might find when, for example, you're going through difficult terrain and you want to get extra control side to side, you might turn it up a little bit. When you're just cruising on the highway, you might find that you might want to go a little bit softer with it and give you a bit more of a relaxed valve.
Alrighty, so as you can see, the boys have just put the coils in. They've got the remote res shocks in as well. There's the monotube here and the canister here that Ash was just talking about. They've bolted it in at the top here. They're going to mount this here somewhere. We'll see where they're going to mount that. Hopefully it's out of the way, most likely will be. New bushes in the bottom of it as well. Should be good. Alrighty guys, so the boys have just finished the front up. They're just about to put the tyres back on. The shocks are in, the springs are in, everything's bolted up. They've got the reservoir just in the back here with a 8-stage up the top. It's pretty easy to turn, just like that. Pretty heavy duty, real tough shocks. Pretty keen to try these out in the tracks. Alrighty, so they're just ripping out the steering dampener now. I'm just about to put this one in here. Once it comes out, you'll be able to see how much better quality this one is. You've got steel casing on the outside, where this one here, this one's a bit, you can definitely tell it's had its day, but because it's all plastic rubber stuff there, it's cracked open and you can damage it all the time. I get it, so it's just not very good. Look at all the dirt just in there. So as you can see, he's just about to put this one in, just up under here. So by putting this steering dampener in, it's to help with unwanted vibrations through the steering. So in these solid axles, it pretty much what it says it does, it dampens the steering, so you're not getting all the shuddering and stuff like that in your steering, as long as your balance isn't out. Alrighty guys, so they're onto the back now. They're just taking the wheels off. We're going to do the leaf springs, new bushes in as well, and put the shocks in as well. Let's get a closer look at them pulling it out. Pull the inside out of the bush, the shackles. Placing the leaf. Alrighty, so they've just pulled the tyres off. They've undone the bolts here, so to pull the shackles out. They've also undone the bolt at the front here for the greasable pin. What he's doing now is he's undone the shocks, the top bolts for the shocks, undone the bottom ones. Now he's just got to pull the shocks out. He's got this transmission jack here holding the diff up, and then what he'll do is he'll undo the bolts here for the U-bolts and to drop the spring out. And then once he's done that, we've got new bolts going in as well. So once he's done that, he'll put the new spring in, new U-bolts, tighten them up, and then he'll also put the new shock in as well. He's going to mount the reservoir just up here, just make it nice and easy to get to, so we can adjust it if we have to, and all the new greasable pins as well. Alrighty, so they've just pulled the old leaves out now. We're going from 400, which were constant load, which was within there now, to now 500 constant load, just because of the weight in the back of the canopy. It's just going to be better suited. We never ever take the canopy off. Since we've had the canopy in the car, we've taken the canopy off like 3 times. So never really ever do that. So it's going to be good to have the constant load. It's going to help with the weight and the distribution as well. The tray's not going to drop as much when you put the canopy on as well, so we should be able to see that when we go home. We're putting new bushes in here as well, front and rear. Bushes are already in. They've greased them up. So what they're going to do now, they're going to put the leaves in, put the shackles back in, and then put the shocks in. All right, trouble in paradise. What we're doing is we're cutting the bottom mount. So the bushes have pretty much welded themselves onto the bottom shock mount. So they've had to cut it to get it out, to be able to put the new ones in. Alrighty, so as you can see behind me, the springs are in, shackles are in. They've just greased up the shackles front and the rear. They've done up the U-bolts in here as well. So the next step for them is to put the shocks in and mount the reservoir. So far it's looking good. Alrighty, so pretty much at the end of it now. They've just got to do up the bolts on the shocks. We've got the reservoir mounted just at the top of the chassis here, so it's easy to get to the adjustment here. You've got your shocks just in behind there, if you can see it. So they're just got to do up this bolt here, the one at the top. They've got all that in. The springs are in. Everything's done up, so they're just got to get the last final bits, and then we're off to get a wheel arm down for the tow. Alrighty, so we've just got all the suspension done. West Coast suspension, we just got all that done. Now we're just heading over to get a wheel alignment done from their local guy that they send all their wheel alignment jobs to, just to correct the toe in and the toe out of suspension, not so much of the way it steers from left to right. I'm just going to drop it off and probably go get some lunch while we're there.